Hello, everybody, and welcome to Roleplay Give. Tonight we are playing Call of Cthulhu: Masks of Nyarlathotep. Uh, I'm just going to jump right into this. Actually, I'm not going to jump right into it. I'm going to take this time to ask the party to introduce themselves. I will not do it popcorn. I'm going to do it in counterclockwise order from my screen. So we'll start with Daw playing Clyde, playing Carl.
I'm Duh. I'm playing Carl, who's also Clyde, who's also Henry or something or another. We don't worry about that right now. This guy has a bone to pick with everybody because everyone is suspicious as fuck and he need to go down. Bam! That's Clyde.
That was concise. Uh, all right. Uh, Moving in clockwise order, we'll go to Corey playing Purdy playing Colt.
Hi, I'm Corey.
Uh,
I am playing Puritan Bottoms, who goes by Purdy. A very big guy with um, very violent but sweet tendencies. And he's playing Colt
McCutcheon.
McBucket.
McCutcheon.
McJunkin.
McJunkin. McJunkin. That's right. Colt
Um,
McJunkin.
and by inexplicable reasons, probably thanks to Bast, the cat god, he is not the one in jail right now, despite a string of murders.
Yeah, the least culpable party member in the group is. So funny.
I don't know if that's true.
But he's seen his way around the jail, so he offered to follow the jailbird to the police station.
Speaking of jailbirds, we'll continue on counterclockwise to Ed playing Harmon playing Oliver.
I am Ed. I'm playing Professor Harmon Farwell, professor of archaeology at the University of Chicago, who's strayed far and wide from that to play Professor Oliver Martin, professor of archaeology at I'm blanking on it's Robin's alma mater. I don't remember.
Neither do I.
Wheat, right?
Wheaton College.
That's
That's right. But I'm also recently turned international criminal. I've been arrested for being American. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. That's a fair assessment of the situation.
No getting out of that one. I am American.
That's right. You're just suspicious. You're being taken in from questioning, see? Alright, continuing on, we have Robin playing Daisy playing Rosie.
Right. And Daisy is a nurse. She also fancies herself a bit of a spiritualist, in touch with the spirit world. From the roles I've made, she's neither a good nurse nor a good spiritualist. So I'm not really sure what what her purpose is most days. But most recently, she's been spending a little bit of time with Agatha Broadmoor, who seems to be a very similar person who values the psychic world. So, and we've got kind of a premonition of doom for 5 days out. So that's Rosie Daisy Robin.
Rosie Daisy Robin, alright. I am Paul, I am the keeper, and a keeper of I don't remember what that full thing is. It's secret something, but is it
Keeper of arcane lore?
Keeper of arcane lore, that's what it is. But we are going to pick up with the, in no way roughly, but still very much detained, Professor Oliver Martin being booked into a police station office just on the west side of Cairo, just east of the Giza Plateau, not very far at all. Um, I will say, as there's at least one or two cats that cling to the car the entire time, and as soon as the car stops, cats from alleys, rooftops, etc., all begin to converge towards the car as Oliver is led out of the car and into the precinct. Not far behind is Purdy in a hired car. Um, as Oliver is brought um, uh, into the station, there's a quick conversation in Arabic, and you hear the word, like English, kind of come out, uh, and American, and then finally, after sitting in an office space for a little bit, a man is brought in who can speak English very well, and he sits down next to you and offers you a cigarette.
No, thank you.
Okay, glass of water. Are you hungry?
I'm curious to know what the situation is here.
Well, what I was told, and he's clearly a little higher ranking, and maybe this is even a little below his pay grade. Is the vibe you're getting from him? Well, there had been some reports of two, no, I'm sorry, three Americans and a English woman, British national, and there's a little bit of a to the British national, like, don't care for that. Um, and who we had some reports of them being in that pyramid some days ago, and then um, since then, an officer who had been sent to investigate the reports of perhaps strange doings going on in the pyramid, they have yet to return. So there is an ongoing disappearance investigation, and you fit a little bit of the bill. Just where could you
In
tell
that
us
and
where?
in that I am American.
Yes, um, and uh, the people described as being there were a very large man,
Well, that's me. You got me. Point
uh,
blank.
and uh, sort of a soldiery type, and then an academic. And if you forgive me for saying, you come across very much as an academic, sir. it's just a simple question. And I think this was 3 days ago now that you guys were in the yeah, 3 to 4 days. Where were you on? Gosh, I have completely. I mean, I know it's after the day of the
April
woman.
30th, 1926, whatever.
I
I don't
would
know.
be more than happy to answer that question if you get the American ambassador in here.
It really is a simple question.
It really is, and I'd be happy to answer it if the ambassador were here.
Very well. Um, and you know, not mistreated in any way, but locked into his office as and with a guard on the outside as he goes and says, "Bring up the consulate." Uh, and so I have no idea, Corey, how any of this would really work. So, uh, I mean, in 1925 or
What
now.
embassies? The rules were slightly different back then, but that's what. Yeah,
Yeah, somebody would be sent over from
yeah.
the.
Consular officer would, but not to be the lawyer, to be the just to make sure they're not being mistreated.
Okay. So eventually, I'm gonna say Corey. Well, not eventually. Corey, but not Corey. Sorry, Purdy slash Colt McJunkin arrives at the soon after Harmon is taken to this office, and if they don't, you're now a big American has just shown up. Uh, so they look at you. Can we help you, sir? The one in a very broken English, like very actually probably asks you in Arabic, honestly, but then figures out quickly you don't speak it and tries a
I'm
couple of languages.
looking for my friend. He came in here. I think I, I think there's just a mistake, but I'm here to see what I can do to get him out of trouble.
Okay. He doesn't say okay. They go and get the guy who just talked to Harmon because he's the guy who speaks English the best. And so that guy shows up and looks all the way up at you. I'm sorry, are you here for Professor Oliver Martin?
Yeah. He's my buddy. We were down near the pyramids, and he got taken away. Like I don't. There was just cats everywhere, so I think he got separated from us.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I. And he just looks over and he says a couple words in Arabic that sound kind of irritated. And then he says, "Well, if you could follow me, I will take you to your friend." Uh, and
All right.
would ask that you remain with us. And the takes you to the room and reunites you with Harmon. But then closes the door and locks it behind him. So you guys are in there. You get the sense he is standing outside the door.
Hello.
Hi. What did you do this time, my friend?
I am. It appears that I am guilty of being an American academic.
I bet you remember how our friend was telling us that they get mad when you steal other people's research, and then people put in false reports about you. And they remember he was being discredited by the Clive. I can't do this anymore. The Clive expedition. Um, I bet it was because you're smart and you're here doing academics, and they're just this is some grade A BS.
Well, certainly could be. I can't think of. I mean, I'm not even here on any actual research. It's more of a hobby.
I'm gonna, but it seems like they locked you in. I would like to put my hand on the doorknob
Yeah.
and just turn a lot.
Like, see if you can crack the door handle over. Give me a strength check.
That's off, right?
Yeah.
A strength check, you said?
I mean,
Sorry,
it's
oh.
just a doorknob. I mean, certain doorknobs I can do that too. So like,
The man of 1,000 strength right here.
yeah.
And
I'm
I am
only going to be looking for a success on this, to be honest with you. So with your giant ass strength, I'm not sure how hard this is going to be, but it's probably still a hard success.
like I know it's locked, but it's just a.
He doodles.
Okay. You crank it over, and you break the lock.
See?
No. Sorry, you didn't break the lock. You break the doorknob, and it's now spinning. It's a deadbolt lock. So you have made the doorknob not work anymore. But
it's not locked. It's just stuck.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's now snapped off. You've snapped the stem inside the doorknob.
And I see out.
If you pull the knob out, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, you pull the knob out, the knob falls off on the other side, so like in the hallway, ka-thunk.
Here, hold this.
Okay.
Is there food in here? I'm kind of hungry.
I mean, they offered. I didn't take them up on it.
Did you just break the door?
No. The door was definitely broken before I got here. And I'm definitely putting my mouth to the hole as I like.
But I just
I listen and then I put the mouth.
Sir, I just used the door. I knew it was functional less than a minute ago.
I mean, I'm, I'm not one to accuse someone, but are you sure you didn't break it?
Yes, I'm quite
Okay.
certain.
If I could hand this other part of the doorknob to you, I would, but I can't fit it through the door, this little hole here. Maybe if I make it bigger.
No. That's how doors work. This is all very, very strange. Um, please, I don't want to have to transfer both of you to a cell and create an incident. I just would like to know what you were doing 4 nights ago so we could rule out your involvement in an ongoing investigation into the disappearance of an Egyptian police officer.
Well, for me, it was easy. If you have anyone follow me around night after night, you will know I was drinking. I'm not proud of it, but it's kind of a lot of fun. And he was with me.
That's true.
So, where were you drinking then, sir, 4 nights ago? Can you recall that?
It was probably that Long Bar place, that hotel, the fancy one.
Oh man,
The ones with all the fancy.
Shepherds. I got it.
Yeah, we've been at the Long Bar each night.
Is there anyone in this city that would vouch for the fact that you've been drinking at this bar every night?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'll put it this way. Just a few nights ago, I ordered a can of sardines, and apparently it was such an unusual request. I bet you the entire wait staff there remembers.
Well, that was 3 nights ago. We need to know where you were 4 nights
Yeah,
ago.
that wasn't
they
the
would,
first time
but
we
they
were
would
there.
know. Okay, yes, I get it. So the wait staff.
Associate,
All right, so that you hear him. If either of you spoke Arabic, you would hear him giving instructions for somebody to go to Shepherd's and talk to some of the wait staff, and also to find a mechanic to fix the door. Because he can't do.
It's no problem. Here, I'll get this thing open. No problem.
No. It's fine. We'll just leave things as they are until the. Would it be? It wouldn't be an ambassador necessarily, right? It would be some sort of functionary that they would send. Okay. So until somebody from the consulate arrives, I'm going to check in with Clyde and Daisy now, who are, you have just driven away Purdy where we're picking this up, and Dr. Clive has walked away with the blonde-haired woman, and a little farther in front of them, maybe 20 feet walking in front of them, or probably more like 50 feet at this point, would be Agatha Broadmoor and Martin Winfield. And you are on the Giza Plateau.
Why is it when something happens, it's always us who gets left behind?
I don't know. Maybe luck. Maybe we're just the lucky ones.
Was it really best we sent Purdy to deal with the situation? As they're
I'm
like,
not sure that we sent Purdy. I think he just volunteered for the role, really.
I'm sure he will do nothing but a fine job. Anyways, and like he's starting to like walk away from this pyramid altogether with if Daisy follows.
I'll follow. Can I ask something though? In my notes, I wrote secret passage to hidden temple, and I don't remember what I wrote. Clyde and Daisy east of camp, secret passage to hidden temple. Are we aware of some sort of passage, or does that sound familiar to either of you?
No.
Okay, well then I'm just going to ignore it and follow. I'll follow you, Clyde.
Paul, if you're talking, you're muted.
Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. There was a secret passage to the Shrine of Bast, but I don't think it was where you were standing there.
Okay.
That was where Clyde
didn't understand something when I wrote it down, or because it was like the last thing I wrote the last time we played, and I'm like, I don't know what this means. So, all right, I'll follow Clyde.
Okay.
In short, I'll just catch you up on the events that transpired. And
Right.
that's how, of all people, he got arrested. Of everyone possible, it's him.
But it does seem like we appeased Bast, right? That it the
And,
cat
and then like I checked my
catastrophe is done.
the the catastrophe. I don't know if we could make shirts. That would probably be a good shirt. We should do that when we're done here. Anyways,
It seems like a priority, yes.
I'm more concerned with what was her name again? Miss Broadmoor?
Yes, she I don't know why they need her. She's not even sure why they need her, but she seems convinced that something terrible is going to happen. The last thing she said to me was 5 days.
She say anything else to you about what they were doing?
Oh, I'm sure she told me some things.
Oh, was it that relating to something about some artifacts that they may have found?
Oh, right. Of course, it's the artifacts that, if all those artifacts are brought together, bad things will happen. They'll be able
Yes.
to, yes,
And we know that two were lost, but we know
two
where
were lost.
the clearly they're not. They have them, if she is to be believed.
And we
We
believe
know
we
where the
know
last one is.
where the last one is, right. Right. So I
I
don't
feel
know if.
it's
Go ahead.
I feel it's in our best interest to inform Dr. Kafur and possibly meet with this individual about the coming danger that may befall him. Because if they have the means to do so, they must already know it's there. I don't know how, but they probably already know.
It was my impression as well that they were very confident, right, that they'd be able to get that all of the pieces. Do you think we should call our lawyer and get Harmon and Purdy some extra help, or
I'm sure sending him a telegram might be a good idea, but then after that, I think it's probably in our best interest to. I don't know if we have time to wait for them, but let Dr. Kafur know as quickly as possible
I've
that
never
the
met Dr. Kafur. But
he's a wonderful fellow.
okay, as long as he'll recognize you.
Yes, we had a lovely conversation. I showed him my chest scar. He was utterly repulsed by it. He offered to teach Charmin some spells, whatever that means.
Oh, that's right. They're supposed to meet later today, aren't they?
They sure are. So probably it's best to inform him of the coming events.
All right.
I feel like God is pointing at me for some reason.
No, it reminded me that I wanted to tell Ed. I had spoken to him about the spells available, and there was another spell that I thought might be interesting to you guys, um, which
Well,
is
until I'm out of the pokey, I don't have time to learn anything.
right.
Get
Just
Delph.
I'm kind of retconning this as it would have been something Dr. Kafur would have said to you earlier, and just as Keeper Error didn't mention, Blessed Blade is a spell that perhaps would be useful. It makes a average knife into a mythos weapon uh, temporarily, so could be of use. All right, sorry, I am procuring a wine, so.
Yes, I think it's a good idea to inform Carlton Ramsey of the current happenings in Egypt. It's been a while since we sent him a telegram, anyways.
Mhm.
Oh, this is going to be an expensive one, isn't it?
Oh well, it's just money.
You're right about that.
All right, so um, I wonder if like one of the easiest places for you guys to make a telegram is actually at the consulate. I don't know, but which one? Well, probably the American, but easy enough probably in any major hotel. I would assume that there's a way or a telegraph office near hotels. I would assume at that time, since it would be really the only intercontinental, uh, you know,
Have been going to the other
you
place
have
that, right?
Summer
Yeah.
Summer Harris.
So would that still be major enough to
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the
qualify?
second,
Okay.
Semiramis is the second. Well, they're one and two. They're the nicest hotels, according to the Call of Cthulhu book that I have here. Um, so not historically going to vouch for its accuracy or anything like that. It's just what the book says. Uh, So, you can definitely send a telegram to uh, Ramsey. What do you want the telegram to say?
Don't know. What we probably shouldn't send you know, a lengthy one, but do you think we'll need some money to get him out?
Investigation in Cairo. Some other fancy word. Stop.
It continues. Uh,
Wasn't stop cheaper than a period?
yes, it is, but investigation in Cairo. Stop.
Harmon got arrested. Stop.
Harmon or Martin or Oliver
The
Martin.
Oliver Martin arrested. Stop. Daisy, you gotta help me on this one.
I don't know what else we are we supposed to be asking for some assistance?
Legal assistance needed. Stop.
Perhaps financial as well? I
Legal
don't
and
know. Maybe we can
financial
group
assistance
break
required.
that, bribe them to get him out.
All right. Does this look good?
Sure.
We'll start with that anyway.
All right. That telegram is sent. Uh, Heading back into the police station. You guys are uh, in a room. There's somebody who's fiddling with the door, but eventually that guy explains what Purdy already tried to explain, which is I can't fix the door unless we unlock it and open it because he has the other end of the doorknob, and it's just this whole thing starts getting to be like a mess, and he's sort of loath to open the door until the representative from the consulate arrives. So eventually it's opened, and uh, there's like two police officers standing there just watching, basically checking for shenanigans. Uh, and they are, with the batons and everything. And the door is fixed. And then soon after, uh, a sandy haired, uh, gray suited man in his late 30s, has the 20s pencil mustache, but because he's sandy haired, it just looks like he didn't shave well. Um, he's sweating profusely, but has an attaché case and reports in as the cultural attaché. And basically, I'm just going with what Corey said, that he would be there to witness any questioning. Right? He wouldn't presume to intervene or anything like that, but would ask for your passports. I'm assuming.
Maybe. I mean, it probably not, honestly.
Really?
Uh,
You wouldn't
I
want to
mean,
confirm that you're American citizens, that he's.
at we could probably confirm it just by. I feel like I'm broadcasting traders' inside secrets, but
Well, then maybe we
like
shouldn't talk about that.
you can tell a lot about a person's place of birth by just asking where they grew up and asking specific questions, and those things.
Oh.
Some of those areas just don't fit in other countries, right? So it's pretty easy to
Oh.
narrow them down, at least U.S. or Canada.
Okay. Well, then that's what would occur. Well, that's fun, and I won't push for any more trade secrets. But uh, after satisfying himself that you are American citizens, he will just sit down, pull out a legal yellow pad of paper, and begin taking notes. And so this investigator, uh, who I have not named, uh, will say, "Well, we have someone looking for the young man who told us the identities um, of the people. Hopefully, they'll find Mahmoud soon. Uh, Nothing chaps does ass like Mahmoud. um, I can't remember Mahmoud's last name. But I'm because it's Cairo. There's more than one Mahmoud. That's like saying, we're gonna go find Steve. Um, they don't give him a last name. They're just his name's Mahmoud. All right,
Well, I don't think he ever gave us one.
that's true. So I will look up a common last name, uh, and that will be that he is being sought. But they have notes out, and so there's two of them are there. One of them is speaking Arabic to the lead investigator, and the lead investigator's translating and says basically, we were told that there was a door found. No one else has since been able to locate it. But also, we sent 2 police officers there to find out what you were doing after young Mahmoud reported that a door had been found in the pyramid, and he we haven't seen that officer since, either of them. And so, could you?
Find out what?
Well, I guess basically you two match 2 of the descriptions of the people who were there 4 nights ago. But hopefully, very soon we'll find out if you were drinking in Shepherd's Long Bar that night, at that time.
May I interrupt quickly?
Yeah.
Did he say that the both officers who were investigating went missing?
Yes.
Because only one went down, as I recall correctly.
Oh, I thought I had 2 of them go down. So then one of them
No,
would have.
only one of them got
So
killed.
one of them would have known about the door and survived. Maybe.
Not a Minotaur got him.
Well,
Damn.
Also, I think potentially helped them get lost, didn't we? Or I know we retconned something in the middle there. Because
yeah.
I know initially I didn't kill him. I just sort of let him wake up.
You let him wake up. Yeah.
Sorry for the audience. Thinks Purdy's a nice guy. I think I let him wake up in the complete darkness of the maze, and
with the sounds of breathing walls and the terrifying
torch.
sweating of them and everything else. But
but
also
then I
you knowing that they're also these halls are traveled by these not a minotaurs.
We didn't really know
people.
that at that point.
You didn't know that at that point.
just bloody, blood drip ceilings.
All kinds of crazy stuff was happening. Yeah, blood came out of the walls. Yep. And I will say that there were 2 officers, but neither of them reported back because I don't think that actually creates a problem for me. It's just one of them may not have gone down, but he never reported back in. So, just my backstory note that I'm going to make now will change so that I don't lose track of this again. I'm getting better at note taking as we go. All right.
Actually, interrupt. I just wanted to clear the air.
No, I appreciate that. It keeps us consistent. Even if I have to retcon a little to make it consistent. 1 officer killed. Okay. Got it. All right. So that's what's occurring there. Eventually, this another officer. I mean, there's a lot of staring, and the functionary from the consulate is sort of just tapping his pen on his paper and sort of questioning what the heck is going on here. But it's probably very much of Harmon's mind of you can't just accuse 2 Americans of doing something that you don't even know what was done. So specific questions will be asked along the lines of, were you in the pyramid that night?
I mean, they're not really traversable at night. The tourists generally go during the day.
Is that one of the bars we were at?
No. The actual Pyramid of Mycernus.
Oh, the square thing.
It's most people consider it. I mean, there is a square base, but most people consider them roughly triangular. Um, uh, no. So, yes, you're correct. Most tourists do go at night, which is why this is such an interesting case, and why the police were sent.
And which is why we were there today during the day to see the pyramid.
I see. So, I mean, there's a specific question. Um, were you there that night?
No, we were at the Long Bar.
Understood. Okay. Eventually, this other person comes in and, yeah. Well, no, they were, and it comes out. Well, yes, they very much remember the two of you and two companions. Also, a British woman and uh, sort of a. He's not gonna say paranoid, but he's gonna person who looks sort of over his shoulder a lot. They saw all of you talking to a man who was with cats quite a bit. But I guess
Well, I can hear plenty of those outside.
Yeah, that guy's he was there. I mean, a little crazy. Said cats were following him. What, isn't that crazy? Cats following people?
and he looks outside, or he walks over to the window, and there's still a bunch of cats sitting on the cop car that brought you in, and he's like, "Yes, that is crazy. Eh, I guess I would ask that you stay in Cairo in case we have more questions, but for now, you're correct. We have no reason to continue to hold you. We have no charges." Um,
Hey, can I ask you something?
yes,
Well,
please.
you're so open with us. So, like the Bible says that here it sometimes rain frogs. Is that like in the weather forecast, or?
Are you referring to the plagues, sir?
I mean, yeah, but I know it was weird back then, but I mean, does it still rain frogs?
No. It has not rained frogs here in uh, 2 to 3 millennia.
Oh,
But it did. That wasn't just a story.
Oh, I mean, if one accepts the stories, and I think actually the Exodus is mentioned in the Quran as well. And so,
this is-
uh, yeah, he'd be familiar from a Christian, Islamic, and Jewish perspective in this area. So I think he a subtle wink and a nod to you, Martin, of only the one report that we go off of.
Wow, I really thought those stories were more allegorical.
Well, there is great truth to be found in allegories, and sometimes we find out that great miracles and mysteries do occur. Less frequently now, I think. In any case, you're free to go. Please stay in the city. We will be, and he nods to the gray-suited man, and sort of will be filing a report as to our concerns with the embassies of England, Britain, and America as far as this report. But you are free to go.
Well, I'm a little skeptical about seeing any more pyramids if I'm going to be arrested for viewing them. But It sort of takes a lot of the fun out of Egypt.
Well,
Does it include the Sphinx? I mean, that's not square shaped. It's more like a doll.
the square is sort of an also, most people consider it like a lion. Regardless, you may visit any of them. It just we will.
I ain't never seen a lion with a nose like that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it's a lion with a human's face, but the nose broke off. Never mind.
But I haven't seen a dog that looks like that. Darndest story.
Hmm.
Do you think the frogs broke it?
We're done here. Thank you.
Bet you're right.
uh, and they.
Bet you just stuff up those nostrils and pop that thing off.
All right.
Oh, it's like, quickly get me out of this conversation.
I have nothing other than him getting mad at you guys, and I just don't think that he would do that with the American consulate official there. So he'll just dryly take all of this abuse, and then as soon as he can, usher you out the door. So uh, what are Daisy and Clyde doing after sending that? Because this is gonna have taken like 3 hours. All of this business with.
You know, Daisy, it'd be really unfortunate if we had banned from Cairo as well as the lovely country of Egypt. I mean, we're already banned from New York at this point. It'd be really bad if this is another one that's crossed off for us. I'm sure nothing that will ever
The world
happen.
is a big place. There are many, many cities and countries to visit. If we happen to be banned from like
Yeah,
two of them, that's
but you know, the largest American city known to man, you know, and cultural center of the world right here, you know, pretty important
true. True.
historically.
Although,
Act,
if the queen is resurrected in 5 days, all of this might be a moot point.
yeah, we should probably tell the doctor.
Mm, yes, I think so.
Are you guys gonna?
All I can tell you, I know where he is because Harmon's gonna be late for his lesson.
Okay, so are Daisy and Clyde heading to the Cairo Museum?
If that's where Dr. Kafur is.
It is. It is. Yep. Yeah. And so, and then once Harmon and Purdy have exhausted their supply of questions about how the Sphinx lost its nose and what kind of like if it looks like a Saluki dog or not, uh, because that's what I think it looks like. But the you guys would head where?
Well, I'm supposed to have that meeting, right?
Yep.
So I
All right. Well,
suppose we'll go there.
I'm going to shorten up unless so Daisy and Clyde will arrive there first. Unless there's something you want to say to Dr. Kafur that would you know before they got there. Otherwise, we can just hand wave all kinds of uh, niceties, pleasantries. Would you explain why you're there and why Harmon is late, or
Yes.
That was the point of
okay,
going, yes.
okay, yeah, thank you. Uh, all right, so that gets explained, and and do you tell him, and you tell him all the other stuff about the 5 days and everything else as well?
Yeah, Daisy's never met him before, but I'm
Oh, okay,
sure she would just share everything because if these guys trust him, he's
okay,
trustworthy.
okay. So eventually, by the time the story gets cleared up, and he asks a bunch of questions about what did you see, how did you see this, and then he's asking Daisy now specifically to fill in any other details about what you saw in that underground temple, um, the red lights, the arch that came out of the side of the wall that descended down to the very tall dais, and he's
The bridge to the weird door, there's all
yep.
kinds of stuff in there.
So he's actually drawing and checking it with your memories. And so uh, eventually, Harmon and Purdy, and for the first time in a while, all four of you are in the same room with one of the major NPCs. This just doesn't happen. So, uh, he will take you all down to his vault in the basement. When you get to the basement, he stands in front of this door. It just looks like a plain wooden door going into almost like shockingly bad security, like an apartment storage room, that's made out of OSB and basically not much else, and it's just like a partitioned storeroom. Not, but when he approaches it, he puts his hand on the door and takes out a knife, puts the point of the knife into his thumb and pulls down. Um, Rubs his blood onto the doorknob, and then begins to sing a small incantation in words you have never heard before. Blue light comes out of the doorknob, and strange, spiderly words sort of spread out over the door frame and the walls itself, and sort of pull back into the doorknob and then into his hand, sealing up the wound. And then he opens the door and brings you into his little special private vault, which is just a sad plywood covered room. It's not plywood because it's 1920s, but like plaster room with a single bare bulb hanging from a wire illuminating it. In the center of the room is a small table. You see 2 or 3 tomes standing on the table. They are very old appearing. No check needed, but Harmon, you could place these easily within directly right after the printing press. And in fact, perhaps even a little earlier. So 500, 600 years old at this point. 400, was it 1460, 1480 was the printing press, somewhere around there. So 500 years oldish. And so he said, I have been giving this some thought. Harmon, we shall teach you flesh ward, as you requested. But I...
Oh.
What, did you have a different thought?
No, I'm just a bit trepidatious, nervous.
This is understandable. This is not something to enter into lightly. As I teach you, then I will be teaching you about how the power is drawn from the cosmos. Understand, it exacts a toll. Every time, power does not come from nothing. It draws power from out of you to manifest itself in the existing world we all see and are affected by. The inner world becomes manifest in the outer. This is probably best for only the one of you to see, because basically every time you see somebody, like, I'm waiving the roll on the first one because he kind of warned you and everything else, but when you see some of this stuff happen, you have to make a sanity check, and so he's not going to put you all through that repeatedly. Unfortunately, Harmon will have to go through that in order to learn the spells. But he's also going to ask you, and he says, I have a plan. I have been thinking about this mummy of Queen Nidocris. Perhaps we can interrupt the plans if we destroy the mummy. You know where it is.
Well, we know we know where the sarcophagus is, and theoretically the remains are still inside.
Yes, I guess that's a fair point. You could get there and find nothing. It still appears to be our best chance as long as they cannot find the third artifact. Um,
They did sound very confident in being able to find it. Are you sure that they won't be able to obtain that?
no, no, I am not sure. I have tried to warn. I forgot his name. Uh, I have tried to warn. Big picture.
Ahmad al-Dahabi.
That's the one. I have tried to warn uh, Al Dahabi several times. He assures me it is kept somewhere safe and sanctified. No, he says no evil creatures can reach it, but I don't know that he knows the lengths that the Brotherhood will go to and the powers they have at their disposal. This worries me. However, I can do nothing to change his mind other than plead with him. And nor can I think of a safer place outside of
Right.
this vault for it. But I believe they will attack soon. I can't imagine they have not figured out where it is.
Can I ask a clarifying question
Certainly.
for my friends here? So when you say destroy the mummy, you mean unwrap it, right? See what's underneath there?
Um, we've had this conversation before, haven't we? Um,
Um,
I think you did with him, or was it with the? It was. I think it was the person in the lobby person. But uh, I am so bothered that I have to say this, but yes, you will have to unwrap the mummy. You will. I don't believe a natural fire will destroy its body.
Purdy has heard everything he needs to hear for, for what will probably be 3 more months of chaos.
Well, the bucket list is getting shorter.
Because what you will need to do, and he says this in all seriousness, you will need to use a special. No regular blade could harm her. Um, and so your friend Harmon and I will also be working on blessing a blade for
So,
you.
just another clarifying question. I mean, there's probably some knots in there that make it difficult. Do you have maybe a practice mummy the three of us could try out first? We might have to get in quick. Like, practice makes perfect. That's what my
Are
auntie
you
said.
asking for a training mummy? Or like a training dummy that's a mummy?
What do you think? Complicated knots on that thing.
As a matter of fact, we do. It's called My First Mummy, and it's we keep it there for
Sorry
for
for
Maybe you can go
summer
find a roll of
camps.
cloth and wrap each other up and practice undoing them.
Yeah. Um.
Ah, shit. Why should I say that now, Harmon?
No, he says it actually it won't be that hard because um the problem is what you need to do, and I apologize for any squeamishness that this may cause, but you will have to dismember the body and
no big deal.
take the parts to different locations, separating them so that it would be difficult to bring them into proximity with. And so you may want to keep part of the body wrapped up um, for ease of transportation. Um, but
Now that would be a difficult thing to get past customs.
Or we could use part of the cloth and tie it like a little knapsack you throw off makes it easy to carry.
I think I will leave tactics to your wiser head. I am not a
I'm on
person
it.
of adventure or exploration to the level that the four of you seem to be. Uh,
You say no natural fire will destroy. Is there a kind of fire that might?
there it's outside of my ability to make. Um, and he mentions a thing. Let me tell you what it is. But he cannot make it, and he knows no one who can, so he'll be very clear
It
about
would
that.
be helpful to know if we ever run into it somewhere that
Certainly.
it's the kind of fire we need.
Certainly. And you guys do seem to like fire. There's also no spells for killing with an automobile. Um,
You don't need a spell for that.
no, apparently not.
Well, we would have to if we were to kill this risen mummy with an automobile. We'll have to bless an automobile next.
We need to figure out how to get an automobile down below the pyramids.
Oh, what he describes is, um, it's not so much a form of fire so much as a form of lightning. Um, there is a way to control not everyday mundane storm lightning, but a lightning from the cosmos. Uh, a lightning that comes from far beyond. And that lightning would remove her body from existence. Um, I've only read about it. It's theoretical even for practitioners of this dark magic.
And that wouldn't be similar to what we saw destroy. I mean, we didn't see it happen, but when we investigated the destroyed shop, and I'm
No,
forgetting,
yes,
like,
no. Faraz, no, Faraz Naraj's shop
right,
uh,
right.
was was. I don't think I asked you guys for this, but you guys have engaged in this type of um, subterfuge yourselves. That building was broken apart and then torched.
Okay.
So it was what destroyed it was blunt force.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Wow, my
yeah.
memory
No,
of
no, 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 no. I think I
investigating it
described
was so different.
because it was completely burned out on the inside. It had been
But from the upper floor down,
correct,
right?
right.
Okay.
So whatever blunt force hit it, it hit it from above, and then the fire may have occurred afterwards. But it was burned out, like I described it as being completely burned out. So that might be why um, that.
I think it was more like what Ed just said when it was described as coming from above.
Right.
My brain was interpreting it as like some sort of, if it was like a meteorite or a demon summoned into the building, or like I was going in all kinds of weird directions, not
No, no,
just
no, no.
somebody burned it down.
One of those is not far off. So, uh,
Well, we clearly don't have that at the disposal at this current point in time. And I mean, you are going to be teaching Harmon your magics. Is there any other way of defending ourselves against more supernatural threats?
um, well, I this is going to sound not helpful, but a gun is extraordinarily useful.
Is that so?
Not for all situations. These Some of these are beyond our comprehension, and you seem involuntarily shudder. Um, how they could possibly exist is a mystery. Uh, I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with sweats, thinking about what I have seen. Um, terrifying, awe-inspiring. Uh, but most of what is done to bring these things about are done by ordinary humans. The spells will help. Um, I don't know if you've ever, like, no, I do know you have used an automobile and a gear shift, because he knows about all of that. And so you seem to find effective ways to defend yourselves. But against gods, even the spells will fall short, I'm afraid. But don't underestimate the power of a firearm, even with some of these monsters. Some of them also are made of bits that can be removed that they need, if that
Well,
makes sense.
that's good to know. Flesh and blood can be destroyed. Great. So you mentioned dismemberment, but we can't do it with just ordinary hacksaw. We'll need some sort of special blade, and you said you're going to teach Harmon that?
Yes, I thought
How
perhaps
long do we have?
it will take me, with his help, 2 days to prepare it.
That should leave us enough time to prepare ourselves.
I was thinking we can do this with any type of blade. I thought either a cleaver or a hatchet would be most effective.
Does like when someone's brought back to life, is it like putting the soul back into them?
Oh, that
Like what?
is an
What?
excellent question. I do not have an answer. I, this is a mystery beyond me, how they will bring back a long dead and buried queen. Perhaps her soul never actually left. It's perhaps
So that
encased in something.
all them bandages.
But what I do know is it cannot be done without the loss of other lives. A life for a life.
Yeah, shit.
Like so, there's like someone dies to make her come back. Is that what you're saying?
I that must all of the magics require a sacrifice to bring a life back into full flower. Something must die and give up its life, its power to bring it forward.
That might be why they have Miss Broadmoor there. She seemed pretty sure that she wasn't going to make it through this alive.
That could very well
Uh,
Is
be.
it like a willing volunteer or like someone who doesn't or matter? You know?
I don't think willingness actually will have anything to do with it.
Didn't get the impression she'd be willing, but she was very much, she seemed in touch with maybe the other side of things. Maybe that makes her a better conduit in some way.
Perhaps they need her to reach Nitocris's soul. People who can find the dead, many try. Uh, Throughout the world, many try to contact the spirits after they've left. Many cannot do it.
It's really harder than you might think.
I,
I'm
I,
just saying,
I think
it's
I,
not as easy as, yeah, it's
I think it
difficult.
might be extraordinarily difficult, and those who can do it, therefore, are rare. Um,
rare, you say.
yes, and
That's
often,
true.
often
Really
rare as they get killed by people. And
That's really unfortunate for those poor souls who end up lost in the pursuit of this knowledge.
but I do not have the gift. Um, my understanding is it doesn't always feel like a gift. I have known no one who could do it. So if this person who you say has this gift is there, and she sticks out like a sore thumb, I suspect it's the gift they need from her. If you remove her from the equation, perhaps that would also end.
What is there? So I don't think Corey either. Purdy definitely did, but I think Corey didn't quite. I did not quite. So it's supposed to happen in 5 days. Was that what
Something's
the message?
happening in 5 days.
Something's happening in 5
It
days.
has not
We don't
been
know.
it has not been revealed, but something
What is
important will happen in 5 days.
And Daisy just always jumps to her own conclusions, so that's where she's feeling like, yeah.
Do we know anything that's happening in 5 days? Like, is it like the first of the year? I don't remember what the date is.
If are you asking that out loud as Purdy?
If it probably would have happened naturally somewhere else in the conversation.
Sure.
But I think, like, does it have to happen on Mondays? Like, it's probably how you would say it.
And he will go to a calendar and, well, it's a full moon.
So there's a full moon in 5 days.
That's what my pocket calendar tells me. It has the phases of the moon along in each. See, it's very handy. I don't know. I don't know if that's important or not. I just know it is a full moon on.
Maybe it's like when all the evil things in the world have full sway. I think some guy named Stoker said that.
Yeah, that would have been out.
Like, if it is a full moon, like they have to do it on a full moon or whatever. What's like if we disrupt it now? How are we gonna? The next full moon, it's not going to happen again.
We dismember the body and separate the parts, then I think that would protect.
They can't find the part.
Right.
It seems to me that you could remove Queen Nitocris's body as a potential. If her body is not there, it cannot be resurrected. The other.
But if they, right? If they found two of these weird things, these objects, looking for the third, and they did find the sarcophagus, right? Once
they found the body, and they have two. You believe right now that they have found the body, and they have two of the three artifacts they need for the resurrection. And now there's some thought that perhaps they need Agatha Broadmoor to be there.
Yeah. Are there spells that help people find things? Like, could they be used in magic?
Paul does not know. Go to the spell book.
Like, I know the scholarship would play into it, but it seems pretty lucky that they seem to relatively recently find three things right.
They are well funded.
Man, where's the spell book? Playing the game, Tomes of Eldritch Lore.
So what I'm thinking is, for the next few days, while Harmon learns his spell to help us dismember a corpse, the rest of us gather resources and train ourselves for the next coming days.
Well, actually,
Prepare
I'm
ourselves.
going to need your help with this spell. I need you to, well, I suppose it'd be difficult for me to do it. I'm going to need an animal uh, the size of a sheep or larger.
The warthog?
A warthog would do, but I think would be more difficult to procure.
All right, let's take up a second. Why?
Uh, the blade must kill the animal as part of the enchantment.
Wait, so how long does the blade stay enchanted then? Like, do we have to carry a warthog around with us?
No.
Right, what time? Use the knife.
I'm just going to read the spell to you guys, and then it creates a blade capable of damaging or killing entities that cannot be harmed by a mundane weapon. Requires the blood sacrifice of an animal of at least size 50. The blade of the knife must be of an elemental metal such as iron or silver. The blade may be of any size, however larger blades do greater damage, as they always do. If the blade is broken, melted, or otherwise damaged, it permanently loses this ability. However, it will not be harmed in attacks against supernatural entities. So it retains it as long as it doesn't get broken. I'm learning how to do spells along with you guys as we're doing this. So, and I'm not seeing anything that's like find something, but you can contact a deity and ask them questions.
411.
Most of the deities are not great. So,
Us is pretty cool.
but Bast also is a little crazy cakes, but you happen to be in her favor. So,
I'm thinking Bast about the fire. Like that was my thought. I've already used my phone to Bast.
nice. Contact, yep. Create a barrier, create a zombie. Curse of the Putrid Husk. Great names. Enchant book, enchant knife, enchant pipes. Find gate. Oh, that's different. That's like teleporting to another dimension. Enchant this, enchant that, enthrall, evil eye. Ooh. Fist of Yog-Sothoth. Flesh ward, melt flesh, implant fear, green decay. Nope, I'm not seeing anything like that. Most spells are in this game are like summon crazy thing, talk to God, make something
Right.
magical, or pummel something with a force from beyond. So they're not as utilitarianly, like they're ritual. Like all the spells are ritualistic. They're not like very few of them are like alakazam, boom. They're sit there and dance for 25 minutes is the spell, you know. So, all right.
So
He needs an animal, and he could get it, but it would help him out if you guys procured. Size 50 is like I would say,
I'm size
Harmon
50.
sized.
yeah,
Harmon size 50.
Harmon sized. So like I mean, a sheep is, if you stood him up, that seems like it'd be about size 50 to me. Right? Like, aren't they big? Like, they just four-legged.
I've never heard it described as equivalent to a human if you stood them straight up, but
I think.
Oh, there are some beasts in the book I could probably see, like comparatively to a wolf.
Okay.
Maybe we could find a camel. That should be size 50 or greater.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe find a small camel.
like, wouldn't people in the museum be like, "Excuse me, sir, you need to leave your camel outside"?
Oh no, I think we will
Oh,
do this
man.
one by light of moon, outside in the desert. Yeah. Yeah. The beast thing is mostly like monsters.
Would a small just asking for a friend? Would
Yeah.
a small problematic child fit the bill?
I think
Uh,
Mahmoud is smaller than me,
yeah, I think.
and I'm size 50.
Well, what if we just stretched him a little bit to let him know how much we love him?
Go fatten him up.
He did like sweets.
I think we should try to stay the good guys in our story.
Okay.
That
Well,
means,
good guys
avoid
fight the bad
child
guys,
murder.
and he's a bad guy.
Huh.
But just to be clear, unwrapping the mummy is saving the world. So, good guy.
I just I found Bast in the main book, and I was like, oh, cool. Sorry. Uh, actually, as far as deities go, and there, she's relatively okay.
For reference, a dog is size 35.
Okay. So I would say
Well, some dogs.
sheep would be big. Like, so
A
it wasn't.
weird comparison to give because dogs vary in size greatly,
A bear is 100.
Okay.
So
I
you
thought it,
could get half a bear.
A horse is 165. I'm
Half a
trying to
bear.
help.
what's a pig? Is pig in there?
Uh, that might be a boar.
Okay.
Wolf is size 40.
So you need something bigger than a wolf.
Any
Not too.
lions?
That seems like that would be a challenge.
And the thing is you need it to be alive because it has to be
Right.
killed with the blade. So
I feel
So-
like if a horse is, you said 160, a camel would be above 50, right?
Right. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be 50, it just has to be bigger than 50. Maybe we can find a docile camel to lead to slaughter.
hmm. Well, I'm certain you can because there are still caravansaries. I'm not pronouncing that right, but in 1920 that would still exist. So they'd be rarer, but they'd still exist. People would be camel trading.
Bedouin, like even today, Bedouin culture is still there, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So it would not be difficult to procure a camel, especially since you have money coming in. Hopefully,
That's-
uh,
we'll
from
see if we get
Carlton
money.
Ramsey. So at this point, I think unless you have any other questions for Dr. Kafur, I'm going to say he's going to ask the three of you to leave, and then I'm going to ask. Um, uh, let's see, how does this work? The first time you go to cast a spell, I'm going to ask Harmon Flesh Ward. Okay. First time you cast a spell. Let's see. Sorry, I should have looked. I knew this was coming up and I didn't look it up in advance. I'm sorry. Alright, scaring the players. That's fun. That's a great. um, Alright. That's not that. That's not that. It's that. Sorry. Grimoire.
there's a, let me see, I'll send this. I'm not sure if this is going to hold on. I'm going to put in our chat inside. There's a cheat sheet that a guy, I think I did it for combat or for leveling up or something. That same guy has a cheat sheet for magic.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, maybe it's just for everything.
You just put it in Demon Plague.
Oh, did I? Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, it was at the top. Oh, I'm on my laptop.
Okay. You have to pass an intelligence test.
Okay.
So I thought I'd share how I treat. Oh, this is this guy's way of doing it. First, they need to pass. This is this guy's way of doing it. I don't know that this is rules as written. First, they need to pass the intelligence test. Second, then need a minimum of. I'm not doing that.
I think this is just not his rolls. I
Yeah,
think these are
it says I
some.
let people cast spells if they can find them and pay their costs. There's still a check as per rules, but failing it just means that something bad happens. The spell, if you know it's a spell, always works. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. So you're gonna
Wait,
try. What did you find something for?
Well, this cheat sheet that Corey just posted says to cast a new spell for the first time requires a power hard success.
Oh,
Period.
okay,
Can't
Can
be
be
pushed.
okay.
Can be pushed.
check failing a push casting roll on page 176, right?
178.
I don't know my
178.
glasses on.
Have it right here.
I read a muffin that was herb and
Oh,
turnip, herb and Trump, and I didn't want to ask what that was.
I love there's a section that says conflict for vehicles is use drive auto for fighting or dodging. No, that's the one thing I read.
okay. A hard power roll is required to successfully cast a spell for the first time. If the casting is successful, refer to the spell description for the outcome. If the casting roll is failed, nothing happens. Following a failed casting roll, the character has a choice whether to make a second attempt to cast the spell, paying the costs the second time, either immediately or at any time in the future, and in doing so, push the casting call. If the pushed casting call is successful, the spell works normally without negative consequences. If the pushed casting roll is failed, the spell still works normally, but dire consequences ensue for the caster. Ultimately, a spell can always be cast. The casting roll gauges the harm the caster suffers in the process rather than success or failure of the spell. The only alternative to this, other than giving up on the spell, is to go back to the source and learn the spell again from scratch. Okay, so it says you have to learn the spell, and that requires the time, and I've actually decided I don't want to use that for this, and a hard intelligence roll. After learning, okay, so you have to learn it first. So you need to make the
Okay.
hard intelligence roll.
I'm not learning it.
Today was not the day you learned it. So,
Nope.
you can try again. It says it's supposed to be like the way this is. I'm going to tell you what the rules are written, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Which is, it says it's supposed to be 2 weeks to try, so you would have to wait. You'd have to roll another 2d6, or I'm sorry, one. You roll a d4. Half would be it's a 1d2, and you would either roll 1 or 2 weeks, and that's how long it takes you to relearn the spell. But I'm not going to do that
Mm-hmm.
for today because I just want to move this along a little faster. So, uh, so we're gonna try it once per day. Uh,
Okay.
and so you spend the day, but you still spend the whole day trying to learn. So the
Yep.
rest of you are trying to do what? Are you going to go look for an animal? Are you going to dig up more information?
To find an animal, but I'm also very worried about Agatha. I don't know if
Uh,
there's any way we can get her out of there.
I mean, a camp at night in a somewhat guarded area might be difficult, but not impossible.
I know we can't afford to risk everything to save one person if we're trying to save the world, but it would be nice if she didn't have to die.
Or perhaps the actions we make might go to preventing her death if she is the one to be used for this sacrifice that Kufor mentions. Perhaps we can stop it before it's completed.
Yeah. If we do get her out, we we need to get her far away too, sort of, right? Because they
I
seem
would
to have.
think so.
Perhaps we should draw up. Well, we know where it's going to be. Probably the same way it's going to be taking place as in that old temple underneath the pyramid. Perhaps we can lay out a battle plan of sorts. Get a lay of the field. We've seen how many people they have in their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their encampments, and also possibilities of maybe some of those non-minotaurs might be siding with them, or they're just unnecessary hazards.
Well, and I think Agatha did mention there was a Dr. Gardner that didn't seem fully on board with the plan. Sorry, my cat likes to sit on the computer and open weird windows. So, but I does that sound familiar?
I believe you've mentioned him once. Other than that, I mean, he was pointed out. But as
Was
for
it
me
a
not
him?
being
I thought
completely,
it was her. Oh my gosh, I'm really bad at
there
going
was
back
the
and.
woman who seemed to take charge, and there was, I think, Dr. Gardner, who I
Oh yeah, Dr.
think was
Gardner,
mentioned
a
as a
male. Yep. Maybe trustworthy, not aligned? Question mark.
and there was the German woman, I believe, that was with Dr. Clive, who seems to be his right hand of sorts. So I don't think she would be a trustworthy
Right,
person
right,
to go to. Granted, I don't know if even Dr. Gardner might not be even best
right.
option.
I don't know. I'm not saying that it would be a good ally, but when you're talking about people that may be part of the encampment, that not all of them are maybe equally invested.
I believe she said he's more of a researcher than an actual member of this cult
It seemed that way.
The camp was outside of the
pyramid.
pyramid.
Yeah. And Dr. Gardner had some concerns about what they were doing. So
Do you think Neris can get into her?
to get
I don't
Agatha?
think so.
Up to I know Neris couldn't go into the pyramids or parts of the pyramid. Would Neris be willing to help us get her out of the camp?
She must have a. If you can convince her, you must have a very good reason why it should concern her. She doesn't seem like the one to willingly have someone to help somebody without something for herself to gain.
Well, I think I'm going on a distant month-long memory. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
aren't we vaguely aligned with the fact that if this god comes back to power, Bast is in trouble? Didn't or was this private conversation?
It's mentioned that boss is not as powerful as the Black Pharaoh. Yes, it was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought Neris wasn't excited about the possibility that
If you
that's
can
about to show.
possibly,
Yeah, no, I will confirm that part of the reason she can't go to a shrine to her goddess is it's under the sway of Nitocris.
Oh,
And
okay.
so uh, that's why you guys had to do it. Um, and Neris is nothing if not just a priestess of Bast, and so she does what Bast wishes. Um, so, and you were given that information that Bast would not like the Black Pharaoh to return. Whether or not that means she would be able, willing, or whatever to help is
Right.
TBD. But I did say Bast was not super happy about the role of Nyarlathotep, the Black Pharaoh, in this area.
I just bring it up because if we're looking for allies to do this specifically, we might consider her.
it's definitely an option to consider. Perhaps when we head back to Shepherd's or wherever we're staying at this current point in time, we can
Semiramis.
converse.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay. As the day ends, Harmon, you are released to go home. You don't have to stay there overnight in a weird, you know, shed.
That's kind.
Um, and so you guys have the evening to plan as you wish, or do what you wish with your evening.
Before Daisy goes to sleep, she's going to try to reach out to Agatha
Ooh.
and warn her just to see if maybe she could pick up on that. But that would be like, not early evening. That would be before bed.
Okay. I'll remember that, and I would assume you're trying to do that through contacting a spirit, because your goals have been to talk to
Right.
the dead. So
Right.
you would contact a dead to deliver the message. So it's because I just want to make it the same role you've been making. You know,
Right.
yeah, you're not trying telepathy or anything. You're trying,
No,
yeah,
no, it
yeah.
would be trying to communicate with. I think I was able to reach out
I think
to
you got Jack once.
Jack once,
Yeah,
yeah. So maybe having him warn her.
sure. Okay. Anything else you guys want to discuss before that action would be taken?
Shopping for Clyde, more or less, in the basic sense of the term. I said I was going to help look for supplies,
Okay.
and I tend to do so.
Yeah. Um, if you go looking for a camel, it doesn't take you much to find, like, and if you're specifically looking for one that maybe, nobody really wants anymore, like you're bargain shopping. Um,
Can't. That sounds so
The
sad.
bargain camel.
doesn't even spit. Um,
Aww.
well, I'm just thinking there's probably camels that are close to retirement age, uh, like they're no longer.
I think a camel might be too big. I was thinking, like, I don't know, a big goat or
Okay,
something.
sure.
I know goats seem more probable than a camel. I don't know.
I don't think it's something that you could do that evening.
But I wasn't going to look for an animal that evening. I was
But the
looking to, like,
plant,
supply us.
right. Yeah. Uh, as you're able to make some inquiries and figure out a couple places you need to go. One of which would be actually heading back to the Muskie Bazaar. Um,
Oh, we love that place.
uh, but
I see that fucking kid. He's going to get punched. That's all I'm going to say.
How about two smaller sized creatures? Would that equal a size 50 animal?
no,
If we find.
no, yeah, you can't like kill like 8 bats and get there. No, it's one spell, one death to imbue the knife or
Sorry,
whatever.
Clyde. I tried.
Okay. Anything else that evening? All right, Daisy, you can make an occult roll.
I never do very well with these, although the last time I did, I had a very lucky roll because I have a 5 in the cult.
Which probably has a check in it, right? We just haven't.
Woohoo!
You did it again.
Yeah.
I'm a better occultist than a nurse recently.
That's amazing. I it's one of the things I love about Call of Cthulhu. When you succeed and it just shouldn't happen, it's something to celebrate so much.
Oh my gosh.
Um, okay, you contact Jack.
I really want to save Agatha. That's why. The dice know this.
The dice knew it. So, what do you say to Jack as his presence? There's a breeze in the room. It's chill. It's cold.
Sorry to bother you, Jack. You're just one of the few people I've been able to connect with, and there's somebody in danger, and she's very good at like picking up on things like this. Would you mind if I describe her and where you might find her? Could you try to pass on a message?
You get a silent, open-mouthed nod.
Okay.
With a creepy ghost face hanging out in her
Oh.
room.
And I'll try to concisely summarize, basically,
Sure.
like look for a way to get out. There, maybe using you to bring back the spirit. Whatever
Sure.
the summary of the. I don't want to repeat everything we just went over for the last section of the game.
Certainly. Um, and so you give that message, and anybody else have anything else they want to do? Otherwise, I'm going to go into dreamy time.
Nothing for me.
Okay. Daisy, as you fall asleep, um, maybe midway through the night, you begin to dream of Jack's death. And I believe you tried to save him battlefield, right? That's
Yeah, he was
oh.
one of the soldiers that I was not able to save.
And in the dream, you watch him die again. Uh, and as he's dying, all of a sudden there's a shudder, an intake, and a scream, a vocal of a like it's not his voice. It's the voice of an older woman, older British woman, and uh, I appreciate your assistance. I have to be there. I must stop them. Uh, if if there's more that you know, let's meet tomorrow. Um, there is a tea shop near Shepherd's. I'm just pulling a location I know. Uh, she'll give you a name of the tea shop. Uh, See me there for high tea. And then the face just breaks open, and you awake to like just in a cold sweat. And if you didn't have a check
I
mark in
was
a cult, you have one now.
scroll it down. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had one. Like, can you believe it?
That
I had one.
sucks
I
that we
had
didn't get.
two successes at 5%. So
Sucks that we didn't get to do an investigator development before.
I know, but still, I find it really amusing.
It's
So
awesome.
yeah, Daisy will scroll down the name of the tea shop so she doesn't forget.
Yeah. We're gonna say it's called the tea shop.
Okay, so
So
original.
yeah, but
Easy to remember. I probably don't need to write it
yeah,
down.
so it's just so that I'll remember. Honestly, it's called the tea shop. Uh, all right. The next day dawns. Uh, I assume Harmon is going back to the Cairo Museum.
Yep,
Would you like to try that intelligence check again?
I sure will.
Okay.
No,
No! Does it allow for a push? I didn't even.
I don't know.
It doesn't not allow it. I'll allow you to push if you want to reroll. But if you.
Nope,
Because if you.
I'm not
Pulling
going to
all
do that.
nighter. Pulling all nighter.
Yeah, the
I
consequences
I
of
mean,
a
I need a
failed
hard
push are bad.
success. I need to roll a 27, and I'm
Oh.
not going to push for a 27.
Yeah, okay. I got you. All right. So, what's the agenda for the investigators today?
I want to try and find armor.
Armor. Okay.
You know, being that some sort of combat is going to come along, I'm going to try and prepare the party.
Okay. What are you looking for by way of armor? They have a whole thing on it. And I love the drawing. Looks like a guy who's wearing an old oil can as impressive. uh,
I guess for simplicity's sake, head and chest protection.
okay.
I'm not going to be full on like Greek hoplite.
Right. I just don't know. I
Not
mean,
yet.
are you looking for some sort of metal? Like in the 20s. I mean, there wasn't Kevlar or anything like that. It would be
It'd still be metal.
metal. Yeah. So uh, let's just make it a luck check to see if you can find something you believe you can fashion into a sort of metal chest plate.
Let's see it.
You find something. It if you had gotten a hard success, I was going to say you found something that worked perfectly. With the regular success, you're going to have to sort of fashion it a little bit. So, if you want
Fine with me.
what?
It's fine with me.
Okay. So you find sort of this like, it's like almost like sheet metal, pretty strong, fairly thin. Um, slow down a bullet a little bit. It won't probably stop it, but it'll slow it down enough. Definitely would turn a knife, um, unless the person was extremely strong. Uh, so just have to figure out a way to jury rig it to wear it. Um, and then anything else on your shopping agenda, Clyde?
Doesn't Harmon need a big old knife or blade for his weapon?
Well, Harmon's actually
Cleaver,
technically
axe.
working on flesh ward. He's going to help assist Dr. Kafur to cast Blessed Blade. So, but
I will
yes, you do
look for
need
an
a.
appropriate weapon for Blessed Blade.
Uh, what you need is something that's going to, you believe, separate, you know, body parts.
Axe, machete,
Okay, and you're thinking
Kopesh. I don't know
shouldn't
where in
be
Egypt.
too hard because it's a, a 2,000-year-old body. Um, but whatever. I mean, it is not hard for you to find. Um, yeah, you could probably find a Kopesh if you want, but not hard at all to find a machete, um, or any kind of like large cleaver you could find too, or hatchet, axe. All those things would be, if not readily available, not difficult to find over the course of a day's effort. I'll just check in with Purdy.
Um, Purdy's. I don't think Purdy's doing all too much, honestly. He's probably. Um, oh, what was my thought earlier? Um, yeah, he. I mean, I think he's hopeful he'd run into Neris again, but he used his Neris card, so
Ah, okay.
um, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think he would be like going to the same places he saw her and hoping he runs into her.
Make a luck
I'm not.
check.
Wait, is this the weird one? I have to go to it. This is where I have to go to something.
Yeah, it's in summary.
Now,
Eight and failure.
you went to all of the places that you'd seen her, had a couple drinks at every place.
Mhm.
She never showed up. You didn't run into her. And the cats, by the way, are no longer following any of you either. The cats were there at to to help with the cops, and I believe that was by your choice, right? So yeah,
Right, that's
they're not bothering you anymore. So, um, if there's nothing else, we'll go to high tea time. Uh, Moving through the day, and uh, you are as you enter, you see her sitting in like a bistro front, like open air bistro area. Uh, like it's like a sidewalk cafe kind of thing. Uh, and so she is sitting with a broad brimmed hat on and having tea and some sandwiches. Um, Very British shop that you're at. This is clearly run by British folk in their former colony. Uh, and so she appears to be sitting alone.
Well, I'll go over and greet her. I probably, I don't know. In case there's other people, can I see if there's other people watching?
Make the spot hidden check.
Oh no.
Not that you see. No.
Okay. So, but I'll go up and greet her as if she were expecting me because, she, of course, invited me in my dream.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
And
of course, she's expecting me. But, I
uh,
won't act like, wow, fancy meeting you here. It'll just be more like, well, hello,
if you
just
say hello,
matter of fact.
she will do the whole. What a surprise to see you
Yeah.
here! Wink, wink.
Uh-huh.
And will she'll stand to greet you with her handbag in her hand, and she will point across the street.
Okay.
And as you maybe look, you see very well hidden, but sitting at a coffee shop outdoor, is the blonde woman with the German accent. Uh, she appears to be sitting alone, but from your knowledge. So,
Okay.
but oh, please do join me, dear, and then sits down.
Seems like there's very few places to get a proper British cup of tea here. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Thank
this
you.
is the best place to do that. And so tea is ordered, and she will say, "I am very well aware that I'm in danger, but they seem to need me and my skills, so I'm hoping I can find a way to thwart them. They're planning to do something I believe is terrible, catastrophic, the end of the world, perhaps."
Our perception as well, and I don't know exactly what they're planning, but they may need a soul to accomplish it. And I worry, if you're there, that they might choose yours.
But everything tells me they need me to do something.
And they might, up to a point. It seems like you have an ability to reach across distances, maybe find the soul they're looking for. But what if it trades yours in the process?
Oh, like I certainly can't allow that to happen.
No, no. And we're trying something different. Um, if there's nothing to bring no vessel for the soul to fill, it might slow the process down.
Oh, well then there's hope. I don't have to take drastic measures to keep them from using me. Huh?
Oh gosh, no, no, don't do that. Just if you do want some help getting away, getting out.
Oh no, no, I can't leave until I see this end. I believe that I have the power to end this. I believe I have to see this through, or I mean, what if you fail? What if you're caught? What if you're killed? Uh, perhaps, perhaps if you fail, and then maybe I can do the brave thing and rob them of my abilities. But I would hate to do that. I think I just feel I must be there.
All right. Okay, just to be sure though, do you must be there because they need you, or you must be there because you know
I
you need
I
to be there?
don't know exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to do something with this queen, but in theory, I know better than anyone else that the dead can come back and talk to us. But do they mean to raise her? Do they mean to?
What I that's what that's everything that we're seeing.
Oh,
So you can see why someone
to
with your particular talents might be useful to them.
what
And
end? All I
so you're
see when
asking
I
me to
look
remember all this stuff?
past. What?
Nothing. I said you're asking me to remember all
No,
this.
no, no, no,
All
no,
the.
no. And I don't think actually you. I don't think you actually know. Uh, to what and I'm just acting. She is puzzled. She knows, and she'll tell you what she sees is if they get their way, the world will fall into darkness and madness. Um, at first subjugated and brought to heel in uh, ways that increase the misery of Earth. Then darkness will fall, a pharaoh will rise. Um,
Right. Well, I think that that's part of the reason they're. I don't know what their motives are, but the dark pharaoh, the black whatever, is it dark black?
the Black
The
Pharaoh.
pharaoh
The
wants
Black Pharaoh.
wants his queen back. So some people, I guess, just do things out of that kind of compulsion.
Surely they. Well, who knows? Um, very well. This is all extraordinarily helpful information. I can see now why I was given your faces to know and to look for. Um, well, do act quickly, and then very loudly she'll say, "It's just so wonderful to meet an American from the western side of the country who
Yeah,
understands British tea so well."
I fell into a partnership with someone who just was really good at making it. Can't get it out in Montana like this. Nice to meet you too.
Very well, well, have a great day. And then she will take her leave and walk away.
Okay, I'll finish my tea.
Okay. Anything else you guys wish to do with this day? This is day 1, 2. Oh no, it's not, because you got out of the. You said 5 days, and Harmon went to jail, so that's all the same day. Because then he had his first attempt that night, didn't work out. So you're on day 1 of the 5 remaining days. So this is the end of day 1. Any other things people wish to do? Okay. We
Nothing for
will.
me.
Hearing that, I'll just go back to Harmon for a roll, see if we get this spell learned. Uh,
Let's go, Harmon. Come on. You got
Yeah,
this.
buddy.
Kick her in the butt.
oh, I saw the 0 first, and I kept going. That's it, we got it. And no,
Nope, still not.
and you need to get a 27, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think Harmon is cut out for this. His only good stat is education.
Oh, okay. Is
I mean,
anybody above a 55 on intelligence?
Clyde has a 70.
An 80, believe it or not, but I
Oh.
don't have a lot of willpower to cast spells. Like Daisy's intelligent, but she doesn't have a lot of sanity.
Do you guys want to swap out?
I don't think
okay
Daisy
with me.
would agree to it, but if Clyde wants to.
Already at
Nah.
20.
Purdy has a 20.
No.
He'll score that.
Nice. Clyde
With
doesn't.
the stuff, I mean, sure, it's good to have, but I have other matters I'm worrying about right now.
Okay. So we're gonna say perhaps you guys decide not to learn a spell.
Well, I mean, if it, I do think it's
It's going
important
to take
for
us longer
someone
than
in the
expected.
party.
It is
Yeah.
gonna
It's just
take.
that
It's
if
gonna
it's in the time frame we have, it might be difficult.
well, I mean,
What happens when you cast them? Because I think the reason why, I don't know, when you guys were sharing all the details before, casting the spell requires power rolls, right? And that's
correct.
not something I'm
I
very
don't know
good
much
at.
of that either.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it for a day, but
Um,
I don't know how useful I would be being able to be a spellcaster, is what I'm saying.
What if you both go?
For day 3, just
could try it.
double it down.
I Someone's going to succeed at least once.
Hopefully.
Statistical probabilities. I don't know.
I'll join you.
Okay.
Sure.
Can he cast it?
He can on one of you. Yes, but Flesh Ward actually does wear off. So,
No, but the blade one.
oh yeah, he is gonna cast it.
I got it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
misunderstood that.
He's just waiting for you guys to get him the animal
Right.
An
and
animal.
a place to do it.
I mean,
So, uh, did you guys settle on you were just gonna get a dog or what? The dog's too small.
Hey now, no one said dog.
Right. Yeah, that'd be hard. That'd be hard for me to play. But I'm apparently okay with you guys slaughtering a camel.
Camel or budget boar is just fine,
Budget
but
boar,
okay,
yeah.
I see.
Hmm. But dog, that's rough. Um, so that's where we're at. So what do you guys do? You want to? We could. It's not hard for you guys, but you. I will say on the third day, a telegram arrives for. Uh, I think it'll be addressed to Rosie. Um, and there is money available for you guys at a bank, and a note of I have taken some pains to create, I guess what would say one would say more backstory on each of your identities. So should somebody call, they will be routed to his office. If they're looking for information about Wheaton College, and uh, then his secretary will answer questions about that. All of you will end up having your PO boxes get routed back to his office. So he is covering some tracks for you guys, and then also has provided you guys another $500 um, to use as you need.
Now you have to get a budget boar. You can pay full price.
Yeah,
No, never mind.
you can get a full on board now. Like you can get a virile or strong bull, strong boar,
Strong as bull.
strong bull. But so that is done. Um, any other things you guys wish to try right now, or just finding? You can find an animal that's that size. We don't need to decide what it is. But it is not difficult, and you have the cash flow to produce this animal. Um, he will suggest you guys meet out far away from the city, into the desert areas. Um, there's still places to, lose yourself out in the desert at this time, uh, and conduct the rites out there. So, uh,
I'll try and fashion armor.
yes. So I'm trying to decide. Do you have an idea of what skill check you would like to use for that?
I have mechanical repair.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right.
But I am gonna say like I don't know what. Okay, that's fine. I didn't realize it was that high. I'm gonna say that it doesn't need to be a really like after given enough time you would have been able to figure it out. But you're able to do it well in a short period of time with that roll. And you fashion yourself a sort of under breastplate kind of thing. Uh, all right, and so it will act as armor for those who don't know how armor works. It basically takes damage for you until it falls apart. Um, that's it. There's no real armor class in Cthulhu. It just reduces damage. Uh, so, uh, like, where's the? I love this picture of this dude sitting there in his little metal can. Eh, it doesn't matter. But basically, that's what'll happen. And I think if we get to that, I'll look it up then. But armor basically just reduces damage, or accepts it itself, and then falls apart. So, so you have a little bit of armor. You have a gun. You found what kind of? Did you pick a knife implement?
This will say a machete.
Okay, get a
It's
machete.
easier.
You guys go out to the desert, and I will see. He doesn't have to roll an int check because he can just do it. So to cast the spell of bless blade. All right, where are you? Bless blade. 5 power and 4 sanity points. So, Dr. Kafur, how does this go for you? Well, he's got both of those things in spades. So, okay. I will roll his sanity issue. He will lose 2 sanity for casting this. You guys witnessing it, roll a sanity check. Everybody who is out there, as he takes this machete and slices the throat. Okay, how does the blade glows with the green eldritch light? It is accepting the blood into the blade. The blade turns from this greenish light into a crimson light, and then it returns looking just as it does. You will all lose 1 sanity point. Oh, I didn't see Purdy's roll. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
It's just another
check.
day on the farm for Purdy.
Yeah. Okay. And Purdy takes no sanity damage. So that he hands the machete back to Clyde and says, "This should do what you need it to do."
I immediately hand it to Purdy.
All right.
Might be better in your hands, big guy.
So this just kills anyone I want it to kill?
No. Actually, it acts just like a machete. The blade, though.
So yes, it kills anyone you want it to kill.
That's
I
fair.
wish.
That's fair. And can also remove unwanted brush from your backyard. But also,
Eldritch Brush.
Eldritch brush. But it's not necessarily like a super blade in that it does like that it's more sharp or more dangerous. It's what it does is the spell that is now that the metal is now imbued with can harm eldritch creatures, which would otherwise be unaffected. If this machete didn't have this spell, you could hack and hack and hack and not harm the body of Queen Nitocris.
I'll see.
This blade now will separate her limbs, and however else you wish to dismember her.
Inquiry for your offensive machete is 1d8 plus your damage bonus.
I'm gonna drop.
Which is why I think it'd be great for you.
Also, you now have a magic weapon, which this will also work. Like, I mean, you would absolutely 100% lose, but if you were to like hit, like if you were to run into Nyarlathotep and hit him, he would take damage from it. Otherwise, he would ignore it. But he also has like 700 hit points. So, but like this blade now affects all of the eldritch creatures.
Are you able to? I don't know how.
Yep, I can drop it on your character sheet.
You've seen how deadly Purdy is with just his fists. Imagine how unstoppable he'll be with a machete.
because I'm pretty sure I put machete in here. Hand-to-hand weapons. I think machete.
That's by his large knife.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it's just large knife. And then combat. You now have large knife 1d8 in here. And then
I see.
I'm gonna edit it to say large knife. I'm gonna say machete.
Just playing with it.
Blessed blade. Okay. So that should now say that in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wait,
All right.
I was just testing the roll. That's all.
I'm sorry, Corey. I didn't hear that one.
I was just testing the roll. That's
Oh.
all.
Oh. Cool. Oh yeah. Nice. All right. So. Oh, I think we need to put armor onto Clyde too. I'll figure that out after the, because I think this is a perfectly good place for us to stop. You guys have 3 nights to figure out what to do. Well, yeah, 3 nights, because on the 3rd night from now, you are under the impression that something will happen. You also know, and I'm just going to put this into your heads for the next game, you also know that in those next 3 nights, they need the girdle of Nitocris. So, and from your knowledge, that's still at Ibn Tulan. So, and I think like it's almost 10 o'clock Corey time, so I think this is a good place, because if we start anything else, it'll go too long. So, uh, sound good? Everybody cool with us ending there with the blessed blade being created? Okay. All right. Well, we'll call it a night, y'all. Last night when I was doing the end of the Donacam adventure thing, I skipped that we had this game, and then I skipped the fact that we have Warbler Brothers tomorrow night too. So we have a pretty full stream schedule.
No, you did. You mentioned warblers.
Oh, I just skipped this one.
Yeah,
Alright.
you.
Either way, I screwed up, and I screwed up again now. So, hey, if you're not a bot, and even if you are, we're playing Warbler Brothers tomorrow. I think there's a possibility that we might finish the adventure we're in. We're gonna save Mama Gripply and all of the Gripplies, not because we care about their plight, but because people need the crab cakes. And so, if you get a chance and can stop by, we'll be playing tomorrow night at 6. I think we try to start at 6 even on Monday nights. So if you get a chance, stop by. But until then, roll some dice, play some games, give your time and treasure if you can to meaningful causes. Have a good night, y'all.